This is a sample of the week 3 American Culture Reaction video that's required for COM 263. The first part of the assignment is to review the Horace Minor essay about American culture as seen from an outsider. The second part is for you to review a cultural pattern, your own ideas as seen from as an outsider. 2 minutes on that part. Third, you will discuss how that device or that pattern or that communication device has changed throughout history, 1 to 2 minutes. And then you'll give an evaluation, 1 to 2 minutes of an evaluation. Horace Minor was an American sociologist. So you are going to give a 1 to 2 minute reaction overview about the essay, Body Ritual of the Nasarima. You will give what you think about it, what it was about, why do you think you wrote it, how did it affect you? These are some of the reporter's questions that you can use to help you give you ideas on what to say in your 1 to 2 minute reflection. The second part of the reflection is to create your own ideas about something in American culture. This is something I'm going to discuss in American culture. This is a rectangular device that you often see in people's hands in the United States. It's like an appendage. Sometimes people will have something that they hold on to or that's attached to them, but this is a little square box. It's not too heavy, but it mesmerizes people. You see them staring at it. You see, it's like they love it and care about what is this thing that captivates the American people. It's like a best friend. Sometimes you see people talking to it. Is it helping them think better? Sometimes it makes people happy, provokes happy emotions, sad emotions, but people seem to have a constant contact. Is it rewarding? Does it bring pleasure? You'll see people sometimes turn the device this way and you'll see them tap, 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 tap on the device. And it makes you, what are they doing? Something about the tapping must be interesting or fun. Are they playing a game? Are they sending a signal to someone? Is this a communication device, or is it something that is helping you to have make better decisions? What is this rectangular device that people are constantly carrying with them when they walk, when they go to sleep at night? They carry it with them when they go to the bathroom, sometimes when they're driving. Does it help them to understand life better? Is it something to do with religion that connects them? They think they hold it up. Does it connect them to God? Is it something to do with the religious message? Does it help with, you hear conversations coming out of it sometimes. People are listening or sometimes talking into it. What is this curious device that the Americans have with them everywhere? So this was my review of a cultural device. As you can see, I talked about the telephone, specifically our cell phone, and even more specifically, our smartphone. The telephone, the first practical telephone, was invented by Alexander Graham Bell in 1875. He also co-founded AT&T, and then you see in 1915 the first two-way conversation from San Francisco to New York. The first conversation across the United States took place on telephones. In 1973, we had our first mobile phone invented. Then more than 7 billion consumers began using mobile phones from 1983 to 2014. Smartphones became common in 2016. 78% of all phones were smartphones. in 2016. But just a few short years later, in 2020, 75% of the world were smartphone users. Now, I used Wikipedia as a source because the references at the bottom of the page were credible and reliable. You can see on the Wikipedia page at the resources at the bottom. Last but not least is my evaluation of the cell phone. Well, it's fabulous. We love it. It's fun. It's convenient, useful. We use it to keep in touch with friends and family. We use it for everything. It's a computer. It isn't like a computer. It is a computer. We take pictures, play games, check our social media, keep in touch with family and friends through texting or emailing or talking, just as a phone. We use it for business, for school. But what's the downside? Sherry Turkle is one researcher who, didn't mean to go there. Let me go back, sorry. Sherry Turkle is one researcher who is at Harvard University. Sorry, she graduated from Harvard. She's at MIT, and she has a famous TED Talk called Connected But Alone. Turkle has been studying technology and human relationships as a psychologist for the last 20 years. And she talks about the overdependence of technology and our cell phones, the loss of interpersonal social skills. People saying they'd like to learn how to have a nice conversation, but they don't want to get off their cell phone to do it. You walk into a classroom, people are looking at their cell phone. People aren't talking to each other anymore. Critical thinking skills are reduced. Memory skills are reduced. Sleep deprivation, poor habits of health and hygiene. And Turkle also discusses the lack of empathy in her books and in her videos. Yes, the cell phone's wonderful, but it's not perfect. There's definitely downside. So that's my American culture reaction video. I hope that you got some tips on how to do your video this week. You can use a PowerPoint. You do not have to use a PowerPoint. You can hold your notes, look at your notes, but I do encourage you to write out your thoughts so that you have substantive information that meets the rubric. Be sure to check the rubric and read the full instructions for the video. These are the highlights of the instructions. The first minute to talk about the Horace Minor essay, 2 minutes to talk as an outsider about a pattern practice, communication pattern. Sorry about that. A communication pattern. Let's see if I can get back on there. Communication pattern, practice, ritual, or event in the U.S. culture as seen from an outsider. Third thing is to spend a minute or two describing how that pattern, practice, ritual, or event has changed throughout history. Now, obviously, you can't do cell phones because I did cell phone as the example. So you won't be doing that one, but find something that is unique that you can talk about and that you can write about and that you're interested to research. Then spend 1 to 2 minutes to evaluate. Have these changes been beneficial or detrimental to U.S. culture? Use credible sources, use at least one credible source as a verbal citation, just as I did with Turkle. I hope that helps you. Please let me know if you have any additional questions, and I'll be here. I'll be checking in to see if you have questions for me or ideas that you'd like to offer. Thanks for listening.